to my channel. So today I'm going to do a brand ranking, and this one by popular demand. Quite a few of you, more than I would ever expect, have asked to see a Glossgods ranking video because I do have quite a lot of palettes and many of you just wanted me to rank them. So that's what I'm here to do today. I've been meaning to do this for about 3 or 4 months. It's been a long time since I first got this request, and we're finally here. I'm finally doing it. I have not been a stranger to Glossgods. It's been about a year, maybe a couple years now, where I have really enjoyed their eyeshadow. I really enjoy their formula. Now, do I think it is the best in the whole entire world? Probably not, but it's very accessible to me, and I do think it's very beautiful. I will say it does crease a little bit, so if you are somebody who does not like eyeshadow to crease it too much, you do need to wear eyeshadow primer just so that it can stay a little bit more. I also have oily eyelids as well, but I don't really mind, to be fair, because I'm not out in the public domain all that much wearing this eyeshadow. Okay, so I have 10 palettes here to rank for you. I have done it from least favorite to favorite. I think most of you, if you are familiar with my channel, would know which are my favorite palettes because I have not said which ones have been my favorite. But yeah, anyway, let's get into it. So the first one, I actually have one of their little mini ones here. I did not get any others. This is the only one from their Let's Pop collection. It is the Peach Pop, and it's really beautiful. But I will say, when I went into this, I don't know, like 2 months ago now, I found the mattes to be a little bit disappointing. I thought this one in particular was beautiful, but I thought these two were a little lackluster. Now, I did not use any eyeshadow primer for that video, for my first impressions, so that is on me. I think this would be fine if you do use a proper base. The shimmers are absolutely stunning, and to be fair, I think what makes them so exceptional for me is that the shimmers are just absolutely out of this world beautiful. I don't think that you should buy them for their mattes. So with all of these smaller pan palettes, I think there's only one of them that has 3 shimmers in it. The rest either have 2, maybe there's one that has 1. So they're a little bit more matte heavy than your typical 12 pan palettes that I have. And I would definitely not judge them on these ones, but judge them on their slightly bigger palettes. So this is my least favorite out of the bunch. I love this color story. This is why I got it. I love this color in particular. It's so vibrant on the lids, but it was disappointing in terms of the matte formula. Okay, similarly, this one was also disappointing with the matte formula. So this is the Let's Get Nude. This came out earlier this year. It's absolutely stunning. If you like nudes, it's also nude with obviously a little bit of blush of pink. And it's a really good mid-tone wearable palette. I think my concern about this palette, and the reason why I don't love it as much as some of my other ones, is because I wish there was slightly a lighter shade in here. I did mention this recently, but there's really only this one, and there's a bunch of mid-tone shades, and I just would have preferred something a little bit brighter, just one shade brighter. Maybe get rid of one of these gold tones and just make one a little bit brighter. That would work for the inner corner. I think that's what this palette is missing. The formula of all of these beautiful shifty shades is stunning. I will say some of the mattes were a little bit lackluster, so I would say matte formula is kind of similar to the Let's Pop, not their best, so just bear that in mind. And then the rest of these I don't have any gripe with, so those are the only 2 where I'm like disappointed. The rest of these I love and I have nothing bad to say. So the first one, and I've just done the order of, I guess, just color story, but I love all of them. So this has been kind of hard. So the first one is the What's Your Power? This is the first colorful palette that I bought from them. I bought the whole collection that came out a year and a half ago now. It's very bright, very fun, great for spring, summer. And here you do have some mattes and obviously some shimmers. The mattes in this one are fine. They're a little bit, I feel like these mattes are a little bit harder for most eyeshadow companies anyway, because they're more of the pastel side of things and or they're very bright. So I think I allow them to get away with it a little bit, where I feel like the mattes are just fine in this palette. They're not exceptional, but they're fine. But the shimmers are really beautiful. I mean, I'm not swatching anything, but I feel like I ought to swatch some stuff because I just can't help myself. I can't help myself. They're just really, really beautiful. Okay, next up I have the new neutrals. This is the first palette that I ever got from them. And this is a repurchase of mine because my original went to my mother, who I found out recently doesn't even use it. So she took it from me. It's sitting in England and she doesn't even go into it, which is a little annoying. But this is beautiful. So I think this is beautiful if you love neutrals, but with a pop of a twist, because you have this gorgeous shade up here, which you can see is very vibrant and has more of that, I guess, gold, but it flips green in light. I don't know how to show you because it's getting a little dark here, but it does flip, and then you have these beautiful neutrals. And this one, as opposed to the Let's Get Nude, I really feel like there's variety in here, and maybe just because they've got this one and this special one, it's not as mid-tone as the Let's Get Nude. It's actually a little bit darker, but I feel like it works because the brighter tones work better with these tones. And some of these kind of shift a little bit khaki green. So I don't know, I just think it's a really beautiful palette. There's no issues with the formula. I think the mattes are great in this one as well. I have no issue with patchiness or anything. So love this one. And this one seems to come around on their website quite a bit. I do think if it's not in stock now, it tends to come back because it is one of their favorites. All right, and then I have the Gal on Venus. I was not going to buy this one because of the color story. I just thought that is not going to be something I enjoy. But I did buy it when I bought the Let's Get Nude because it came in a bundle and I thought, fine, I will get it. And it is so much fun, so vibrant. If you love warm tones or if you're in a warm tone mood, which I was at the time, then I think this is absolutely stunning. And again, I haven't had any issues with patchiness or anything with the formula. So I feel like the formula of these are just beautiful and exceptional. And I mean, let me just show you. Some of these are like chunky shades. Oh my gosh, like super chunky. And then some of these other ones, I guess I'll do this one, which is a little bit of a different type of shade, this yellow. It's more of your typical shimmer formula. But then they have this one that is quite clearly a duochrome. I don't know if this one's going to swatch as well to see the duochrome, but you have that green to orange. And you just get a lot of fun, different types of formula with their shimmers. And I find that really fun. So I don't know. I just, for whatever reason, I like them, okay? All right, moving on, we have the Gal on Jupiter. This one was hard to rank because I could have put it higher, I could have put it lower. I think this is absolutely stunning. I think the shimmers on this are outstanding. I think if I had to think about if you like really chunky, metallic, gorgeous, just shine, like mirrored eyeshadow, this is it. And also, it's a gorgeous palette if you love cool tones. I think this is just going to be so beautiful in the winter time. You do have quite a lot of shades that are similar. So it does pull obviously very gray, silvery. So if you're not into that, then obviously this is not the palette for you, but I don't mind it. I have no other palettes like this. Look at that, it's crazy. I have no other palettes like this. I will say, when I put one of them on my eyes, when I did a 3 looks 1 palette with this, which actually I really, really enjoyed, and I did find I was able to do 3 different looks. It was very bright on the eyes, and it definitely was a little bit too much. So I think this is not so much of an everyday palette. However, you do have this gorgeous shade down here, which I don't think you really notice until you have it in front of you, but it's more of a purple, more of a purpley mauve tone. And that is really helpful to tone down the look. So you can go into all of these neutral mattes and then you can pop that on the lid, and it's very light and very beautiful. And it's less of this like in your face. Yeah, they're like molten lava. If that was a different color, it's literally, I'm trying to wipe it off. It's like molten. It's just absolutely stunning. I don't know what they put in that, but it is a wild shade, a wild shade. That one would have been the Interstellar Icon, which is this one down here, but they're all stunning. I mean, all of them are just so divine. All All right, number 4 is a newer palette of mine, and I haven't played with it enough because I did get it in the summertime, and it's more of a winter palette. So I cannot wait to dive more into this because it's got those cool tones, but it is the color of Rain. I do think they have this on site, or maybe it's run out of stock. Now, I really wanted this last year for my birthday. I specifically remember wanting it, and then it was out of stock. And then when it came back, I was like, no, I'm not going to buy that because I don't really need another matte black in my collection. I don't really use them. I don't really need it. And I would have just preferred this to be an all shimmer palette. I know some people don't like all shimmer palettes, but I actually don't mind them, to be fair. When it's this type of quality, I think they're beautiful. And I have so many mattes in other palettes that it doesn't really bother me. But having said that, I mean, obviously you've got the black there to tie in with these. So I haven't played around with this nearly as much, and I do want to do a 3 looks 1 palette with this. But what I have used in here has been absolutely stunning, and I couldn't rank it any lower. So let me just swatch. Let me swatch some swatchy swatch. Let me swatch some swatches. Okay, so how are we gonna do this? Like this? Ooh, oh my goodness. Look at that. And look, you actually, this is kind of greeny blue. It's like a teal. Then you have this bluey blurple. And then you've got this one, which is another purple, but it also shines, like there's a flip of green to it. Oh my gosh, it looks very different to me. Look at that. You actually have all of these colors. And then this one down here, less of a flip, I will admit, but it's a lovely pink with an orange tone. And when you look at the palette, you think it's just a blue palette, bluey green palette, but there's quite a bit. There's quite a bit in this little palette, and I think it's stunning, and I really want to play with it. So I wanted to rank it here because most of my all shimmer palettes from them rank really high, and this is one of them. Okay, and then I have the Vintage Glam. I think out of all the palettes that have shimmer and matte, I think this is my favorite. I just think this is a really beautiful palette that you can wear all year round. I feel like it is an everyday palette, even though these shades are quite out there. When you put them on the lids, you do spot them. I do think that I could wear this every single day and it would be very beautiful and romantic and sweet. And I just think it's a lovely vibe, and I do think they're bringing it back. I mean, I think they're bringing it back for their Secret Santa, but I don't know if they're officially bringing it back. I think it would be great if they actually did officially bring this back, but it would be like a standout palette for them, because as opposed to all these like bright shimmers that people don't wear all the time, or maybe these nude tones, which maybe people just are bored of nudes, this is gorgeous every day with some purples, and everybody loves purples. So anyway, I love this one. So the Vintage Glam is number 3. So these two, I always feel like are at the top. I did an actual eyeshadow palette ranking video of all of my eyeshadow, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, and one of these made it to the top. And it's pretty much the top one still. So the penultimate one is the Look for Rainbows, which I do think that they still have. I think you just have to wait for stock to come back. I do still see this listed on their site, and it's so beautiful. It's an all shimmer. This one's a little bit different because you do have these, how many are there? I guess just these two specifically. These shimmers are a little bit different. They're a little bit denser, they're darker. So I do think you can use these to deepen out your look and then pop these over the top. So you could potentially use these as mattes, even though they're not. I would advise you not to, but you could like still play around with them in that same realm. And I think it works because these work to deepen out all the rest of these colors. And again, this is a very beautiful palette. These shades are very bright and fun, and sometimes the shades don't always look the way they look in the pan. They surprise you. So I don't know. I love this palette. I think it's beautiful. And then the last one is Dancing in the Sky. This one I really wish that they would come back with, because if I get through this palette as fast as I am, I'm going to want to buy it again, and I can't at the moment. So I do have 2 pans already. I just think these are absolutely stunning. If you like green as well, I think this is perfect. But there is quite a bit of purple in here, so it's not just green. So let me just swatch a little bit. There's this one. There's also like this yellowy chartreusey green. There's this thick one here too. And then there's this really bright one, and with a bunch of others as well. But I just think, look at that. There's so much That's beautiful. Like, I feel like you can wear a lot of those shades in your everyday. Let me just swatch this one because this one is pretty as well. It's like a beautiful green right there. I just think there's so much variety. When you look at it, you think there's actually not that much and the tones look all the same, but they actually don't, and all the shimmers look different. I love it when a palette where all the shimmers are different, even though they might look the same in the pans. What I have found is certain palettes of mine, they all shift really icy, which is fine if you're going for that vibe, but then that means that they lack variety because they kind of all look the same on the lids, depending on which undertone you're wearing. If you're wearing more of a purple tone or more of a pink tone or more of a green tone. If they're all icy, then that is the vibe that you get, which I guess, yes, shimmers do get that icy vibe to them, but these just have different tones to them. Am I explaining myself? I don't know if I'm explaining myself. So yeah, ranking them, I would rank them like that as I currently have. And I wouldn't be opposed, obviously, to trying more from them. I feel like I have tried a lot of their shades, but because I feel like there's also all this variety, then I'm very, very pleased with it. So anyway, that is it. That is everything that I have for you today. Thank you so much if you watched the video, and I will see you all next time. Bye.